Welcome to the Sit Down with Suzanne podcast. I am your host, Suzanne. This is the last episode before the season finale. I am excited about the season finale because I have a phenomenal guest that I can't wait for you to hear our conversation. She's been on the show before, so there's that little hint and surprise. I asked her and she said yes, so I was very excited about that. But it was a great conversation. It was just about two women talking, connecting, and celebrating each other. And we also delved into some really intense topics. So stay tuned. That episode will be live on Friday and it will be the season finale until my hiatus ends in September when I'll be back bigger and better than ever. So for those of you joining for the first time, this is the Sit Down with Suzanne podcast, where it is all about positivity, where it's all about infusing the world with positive information to counteract the negative information that we're bombarded with. It follows the tenets of my brand, which is to inspire, to motivate, and to empower. So I thank you if you're listening for the first time, and I hope you continue to be a fan. I hope you catch up on all the past season. There were some fantastic episodes, some great guests, so I absolutely hope you get a chance to catch up so that you'll be ready for season 2. And for my loyal listeners who join me and tune in week after week, months after months, even when I take mini breaks, I thank you and I appreciate you. I've been doing an episode every night this week as we lead up to the season finale, and I've talked about some things that I'm passionate about. I've talked about, embracing the authentic you. I've talked about self-care. I've talked about racism. I've talked about just so much different topics that I think is important because it's what's happening right now. It's what's happening in our society right now. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, it's the power of your vote. Now, it's no secret that this country is in dire need of leadership. At the highest level, we have leaders and a leader that is divisive, that is not a representative of the people, who chooses to not unite the people, but instead chooses to say things and make statements that divides. So we need a leader that is going to stand for racial justice. We need a leader that's going to stand for equality. We need a leader that is going to stand for every single American citizen, a leader that is not going to focus more on his defending his Twitter name, a leader that's not going to focus on golf, a leader that's not just going to focus on fighting with people that honestly, when they should be running this country. So we need a leader. And we need a leader in many levels of Congress because they will not hold the president accountable to the things that he does, to his divisive ways. So we need to stand up. November is coming up and we have an opportunity to go out and vote in November. Regardless of who you voted for in the previous election, one cannot ignore what has happened in this country since then, the state that we're in. Because of this pandemic, the handling of the pandemic, the handling of the racial injustice climate that is happening right now. So it's important that we find a leader that is going to be, like I said, be a representative of all people. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit, let's share some facts here. So on August 18, 1920, women gained the right to vote. This was in 1920, only 1920, that women gained the right to vote. Funny enough, on February 3rd, 1870, African Americans gained the right to vote with the ratification of the 15th Amendment. But there's always a but when it comes to the African American race. Because of multiple underhanded practices and just scheming ways, it prevented African Americans from exercising their rights to vote. Even though this was ratified in 1870, It wasn't until the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was signed into law that helped overcome the legal barriers at both the state and the local level that were keeping African Americans from exercising their right to vote. It wasn't until that we were able to vote. And even today, there are predatory practices that does everything to prevent the Black vote, because there is power in the Black vote. There is power in the African American vote. I am telling you that it is important to vote. It is important to research the candidates that you're voting for. Don't just blindly vote for a party. Research the candidate, question the candidate, show up when they have events. And when they get elected, we have to hold them accountable. But before we get to the presidential level, there are many, many opportunities for us to exercise our right to vote. A lot of people don't vote in the local election. It's not realizing that them not voting in the local elections, these people are the ones that make decisions that impact the communities that you live in. And a lot of people will say, one vote doesn't matter. But think about this. If every person thinks that one vote doesn't matter, and we have 1 million people thinking that one vote doesn't matter, then that's 1 million vote that's not counted. We have an opportunity to vote in our local elections. We can vote for people on school boards. This is where your kids go to school. So you want to be a part of that. We have opportunity to vote for mayors, city councils, district attorneys, and then we have the opportunity to vote for senators. So when you find out about elections that are happening, don't ignore it. You need to show up. You need to show out. And there are still some predatory practices that are happening that is trying to keep you from voting, but you have to vote all the way up the level to president. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that, they don't like the candidates. They're not going to vote for anybody because it's not going to make a difference. That is absolutely not true, because if you see what's happening right now, if we had all exercised our rights to vote, and then there was some collusion and different things in the election of 2016, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the fact that people stayed home and didn't vote because they didn't like either of the candidates. If you don't vote, there is a very, very good chance that the candidate that you oppose is going to end up winning. So every vote counts. Examine the issues. What do these people stand on? And like I said, hold them accountable when they get to office. These people are making decisions about your life. They're making decisions about your healthcare. They're making decisions about your finances. They're making decisions about your education, and not just for you, for the future, your future children, for the next generation. So it's important that you get your vote out there. It's important that your vote counts. So staying home is not the answer. Your vote counts. Your vote matters. So in this upcoming election, please do not stay home. Please do not say you're not going to vote for the president of the United States. And I understand that Kanye has put his bid in, and that I believe is pure foolishness. Do not allow that tactic to split your vote. I think Kanye, the man that said slavery was a choice, has shown that he does not have the capacity to run the country. So let's not get bogged down into those details. And that's the most I'm going to say on that. Nothing against him. He's a talented man, but he's not fit to be the president. We already have somebody in the White House that's not fit to be the president. Let's focus on getting somebody in the White House that is fit to be president, somebody that is focused on the entire nation, all race, all tribe, all creed, all religion, Black, white, Spanish, Jewish, Asian, Caribbean, every single race, man, woman, child. That's what we need. So there is power in your vote. So like I said, this is going to be very, very short. But get active. Get out in your communities. The senators that are in, it's mainly a Republican Senate. And I'd love to see that there's a lot of Democrats that are running and voting and, unseating long-held position by Republicans. And even don't want you to get bogged down in the party. Vote for the person that you believe will stand up for the rights of everybody. So when November comes, don't sit it out. I beg you, I urge you, I encourage you, do not sit out this November election. What is happening right now in our country, we do not want a repeat. Let's get up, let's get out there and vote. Let's exercise our rights to vote. As a Black woman, I will absolutely exercise my right to vote. As a woman, we had to fight to get it. As a Black person, we had to fight to get it. So as a Black woman, that was a double fight to get it. So I will be exercising my right to vote, and I'm going to encourage you to exercise your right to vote. And until next time, please go ahead, like, listen, subscribe, and share the podcast. And stay tuned. The season finale will be the next episode. Until then, this is Suzanne signing off.